Leo Tolstoy had everything the world tells us to want. He was rich. He was famous. He was celebrated as one of the greatest writers of his time. He lived in privilege, surrounded by admiration, immersed in comfort. And yet, he fell into despair. Because behind the applause, behind the praise, Tolstoy saw the truth. None of it gave him meaning. At the height of his success, he looked at his life and asked the question most are too afraid to ask, what is it all for? He saw wealth turn into chains. He saw fame feel hollow. He saw knowledge fail to silence the fear of death. He wrote, "My life came to a standstill. I could not give any reasonable meaning to any single action or to my whole life." Imagine that. The man who gave the world war and peace and Anna Karenina could not give peace or meaning to himself. This was his collapse, his breaking point, the moment when the surface shattered. But here lies Tolstoy's greatness. He did not drown in despair. Instead, he turned inward. He left the salons of the elite. He stripped away excess. He sought truth in simplicity. He turned to faith, not as blind belief, but as a way to live authentically. He found wisdom not in scholars, but in peasants, in the poor, and those who worked the land. For them, life was not performance. It was struggle, survival, and prayer. And in their humility, he saw what his privilege had hidden. That meaning is found not in possessions, but in how we live. Tolstoy rejected the illusions of the surface world. He gave up his aristocratic titles. He dressed in simple peasant clothes. He worked the fields with his hands. He preached nonviolence long before Gandhi made it famous. He demanded honesty, simplicity, truth. This was not a performance. It was war, against vanity, against hypocrisy, against the shallow comforts of society. He once wrote, "There is no greatness where there is no simplicity, goodness, and truth." And he lived that conviction. But choosing depth has a cost. Tolstoy's family did not understand him. His wife resented his rejection of wealth. His children struggled with his radical ideals. He faced ridicule. He faced isolation. He faced loneliness even in his own home. Because the deeper you go, the fewer people can walk with you. Tolstoy himself admitted, "I often experienced moments of despair, madam, when I was left alone with my thoughts." This is the price of depth. It tears you away from the crowd. It makes you a stranger even to those closest to you, and yet, through this struggle, Tolstoy transformed. He became not just a writer of novels, but a writer of the soul, a moral voice, a prophet of truth. His words would later inspire Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., and countless seekers who refused to accept the surface as enough. Tolstoy's depth was not just for himself, it was a torch for others, a reminder that wealth, status, applause, all of it is noise if you do not find meaning within. Tolstoy's life tells us this: you can have everything and still feel empty. You can be admired by millions and still be unknown to yourself. You can succeed on the surface and still be drowning inside. The true battle of life is not out there. It is in here. It is the fight to strip away illusion, to endure solitude, to face the silence, and to discover what is real. So ask yourself, are you living on the surface, masking your emptiness with applause, comfort, and distraction? Or will you dare to dive deeper, to risk being misunderstood, to lose the shallow things, to find the one treasure that cannot be taken? Tolstoy once wrote, "The sole meaning of life is to serve humanity." But before you can serve, you must awaken. Before you can awaken, you must descend. So descend. Go deeper than noise. Go deeper than comfort. Go deeper than fear. find your truth, and live it no matter the cost. That is the way of Tolstoy. That is the call of depth.